well, I'm gonna say you probably shouldn't, because it was me. Yeah, famous quote, right? Up there with Einstein and all. Well, I was 13, and I said that to two of the most powerful publicists in Hollywood, which, unless you were like me and you grew up in Los Angeles, you really can't understand. The long story short, these are people you don't say no to, and you definitely don't anger. People will say that because we're young, we're not ready to be leaders, that our age works against us. But I say, our youth gives us the opportunity to do things, and more importantly, say things that are ridiculous and get away with it. So here's the background as to how I found myself yelling at Hollywood's two most powerful publicists. In 2008, my best friend Natalie and I went to a place called Santa's Workshop to volunteer at Children's Hospital. I'd like to ask all of you to imagine a room basically about this size. Now picture Barbie dolls and train tracks from floor to ceiling. It was incredibly impressive, and I'm pretty sure every child's dream. But what we'd soon realize is that every child's dream is not every teen's dream. What a teen needed for their psychosocial relief, not a train truck, but rather board games, video games. They didn't have that, even a deck of cards. And Natalie and I said, well, this is pretty disappointing. We're here to bring joy, and we realized that we aren't able to do that. It was pretty heartbreaking for us. But what was inspirational was that at a time where these teens were fighting for their own lives, they took this opportunity to better the lives of someone else that they loved. They said, can I take a gift for my brother or sister instead? And what Natalie and I learned is that in the worst of situations, you can make someone else's life better. And if these teens in their situation could do that, we had the obligation to make someone else's life better. So while we didn't know what we wanted to do that day to help, we decided we were gonna do something. We were gonna get our friends, fortunate teens in Beverly Hills who had never faced this, to help out and make a difference. And we were gonna start a movement of teens helping teens. So if you indulge me, our mountain was to get teens to care. To create an effective movement of change, it needs to be inspirational to the people you're trying to motivate. And we thought, well, we're passionate, we're gonna go tell our story, everyone's gonna care, it's gonna be wonderful. Instead, all of our friends replied, oh, that sucks. So as you can imagine, we were obviously disheartened, a little bit flustered, confused as to why no one would help. And what I settled on was that the image of philanthropy didn't pertain to teens our age. What do you think when you envision a philanthropist? Someone fabulously wealthy like Melinda Gates, who gives away billions of dollars, half her income? And what's the alternative? A self-sacrificing individual like Gandhi? Or my personal favorite, the crazy tree hugger? I doubt that the first thing that came to your mind was yourself, or the person sitting next to you. And I doubt that your idea of philanthropy is this: a fun young Hollywood party full of celebrities. But that's what we set out to create. We decided we were going to, 1, make philanthropy fun by throwing the hottest party young Hollywood had ever seen, 2, get our friends to go by guilt tripping them, or getting celebrities there so they had to go, and 3, raise money for teens at Children's Hospital to better their lives. And yes, we really did think this was a super simple, all-in-one event, all-in-one sentence goal. So if any of you have ever tried to fundraise, you clearly know that we had no idea what we were doing or what we were getting ourselves into at that time. Growing up in LA, where fundraisers were a dime a dozen, we honestly just thought, how hard could it be? Well, let me start by saying it's very hard. But hard is not impossible, and we did overcome every obstacle that was thrown our way to raise $150,779.81 for Children's Hospital. We were 13. So how did we do it? First, we had to set aside our fear of failure. To be honest, we didn't even see failure as an option. And forgive me, because I know this seems too perfectly fit and incredibly cliche, but Natalie and I would look at each other and say, it's okay, we can move a mountain. I think it's because we were so naive and we were young that our faith in ourselves pushed us to research. We asked questions about our pride getting in the way. And most importantly, we were up for the trial and error of it all. We learned how to raise sponsorship money by writing terrible deck after terrible deck until someone said it was good. We emailed and called people an obnoxious amount until I honestly think they were just so sick of me, they gave me like $1 or $2 just to get rid of me. But most importantly, we learned how to get people to go from, oh, they're just those ignorant 13-year-olds with this idealistic mission, to bet on us. We got them to change their no to a yes. So while the beginning was rocky, I'll admit things fell into place. And we really had thought we pulled it off. That was until the day before the event. You see, we got this really great, super famous daughter of a super famous Hollywood couple to host our event. And we were all excited, we're at rehearsal, and then her publicists go, oh, well, she's not gonna speak tomorrow, she's not getting paid. She wasn't getting paid to attend a charity event, she agreed to host, so she wasn't gonna speak. Naturally, I, a level-headed, super rational, more like hot-tempered, really angry 13-year-old, decided to grab my cell phone, call her, and say, I will go on a personal mission to destroy you if she does not speak at my event tomorrow. In all honesty, what could I, at 13, have said to the two most powerful publicists in the world to actually do anything to their careers? Nothing. But I think because I was crazy enough to say it, they possibly believed me. And our host did speak at our event. She only spoke for 5 minutes, but it was enough for me. And what it showed me was that passion can often move mountains or create a movement of change. If you make others see, or at least believe, you will go through great lengths to realize your dreams. But in order to create a movement of change, to make people believe in you, I found that you need to have confidence, belief in yourself, and to genuinely believe you can pull off the ridiculous. In addition to that, I think you have to be open to making change, and you have to be at a point in your life where you're willing to see things differently and be receptive to that opportunity to change. I think the reason my visit to Children's Hospital was incredibly poignant to me was because it hit me at a time where I needed to change. I needed grounding in my life, and I needed a positive role model and outlet to allocate my time with. So, we started the bash in high school, and I like to say at the height of gossip girl mania. As you all know, high school is a time when girls are incredibly catty and bitchy, and freshman year is probably the worst. But when you've got Gossip Girl to look up to as a role model, and let me just say that I absolutely love the show and still watch it, I will also say that it'll pardon extra catty, extra bitchy behavior. Because growing up in a society that was very similar to it, all of my friends wanted to emulate not just the good of it, like the good clothes and the fun hair, but the bad of it, like the backstabbing, the name calling, the rumors. We actually had a fake Gossip Girl on my campus. I'll admit, I got absorbed in this life, and I completely fell into that trap. So as many teenagers are, I was incredibly insecure and unhappy. And as time went on, I found myself growing increasingly depressed. I lost my voice along the way. No matter what extreme diet I went on, my weight never changed. No matter how much I wished it, I clearly never grew into the ideal 5'7" to 5'9", supermodel threshold that you get in Los Angeles. My brunette hair never became blonde. My brown eyes never turned blue. And my friends never stopped changing every day. But I told my 13-year-old self, and I still find myself saying today, find your inner voice and use your outer voice to translate that message. For me, the hardest part about this time was I knew I was better than to put myself down. I knew I was better than to tell myself I was stupid, that I wasn't smart. And I really struggled with trying to reconcile who my friends wanted me to be or how to be this perfect Blake Lively, Blair Waldorf image, the image of all my friends, and who I knew I should be. That visit to the hospital saved me, so to speak. It made me compassionate again. It reignited my optimism and drive to make a difference in the world. It taught me leadership skills and showed me I could be good, and I could be someone I could be proud of. I could be proud of myself the way I was proud of those teenagers, and if I could give myself that opportunity, my friends deserve the same. People say that we have to have our lives figured out to make a difference in the world, that we have to know who we are before we can help people figure out who they are. But I found that in helping other people, I found myself. As you work to create a movement of change, I'm sure you'll all realize that no matter what you put into it, you'll always get more out of it. You'll make incredible friendships, you'll learn invaluable lessons, you'll probably just become more determined, more driven, and you'll have new skills that you can apply to make those dreams a reality. And if you're like me, you'll realize you lucked into something you love. While running the bash, I remember thinking, if this is what I could do in a 9-month process, what can our generation do if we all set out to do something good? Teens and youth have a unique opportunity to pull off the ridiculous without consequence. Why? We simply don't fail. If we make a mistake, we take the lessons from that failure and we turn it into something positive by succeeding later. We don't have kids who are financially dependent upon us. We don't have husbands or wives who need us to show up and do something good for them every day. We don't have a mortgage to deal with. We're not burdened. Think about it this way. I'm 18. I'm an 18-year-old girl, and if I fail at something, who's gonna notice? But I'm also an 18-year-old girl, and if I succeed at something, who won't notice? One of the biggest things I learned was that if you give teens a platform, and you give them the chance to channel their energy into something positive, their opportunities to change the world are endless. So, if we all get together, what is our next movement? We as a generation have the potential to make philanthropy and socially responsible choices naturally integrated into our lives. I ask, why does being a philanthropist start and end with Melinda Gates or the tree hugger? Why is it an either-or, unappealing corner that we always get backed into? Think of the item you want most for your birthday. I know this sounds ridiculous, but for me it's a summer vacation. And I'll be honest, if the choice came down to taking the money for that summer vacation and going on the vacation, or giving it away to a charity, my own included, I'll still pick the vacation. Why? Self-sacrifice sucks, and I'll be the first one to admit it. But what if I had the choice of going on a vacation and helping someone else? If the airline I flew gave a percentage of the proceeds of my ticket to a local charity, and the hotel I stayed at did the same, or I could volunteer at a hospital there? What if being altruistic meant being truly indulgent? In developing nations, there's the possibility of achieving sustainable development and economic surplus in a sustainable way. They have the chance to start from scratch. In developed countries, competition's fierce. Companies have to cut down on costs and oftentimes quality, and it's a lot harder to implement programs like this. So how do we millennials in developed countries emulate the opportunistic start-from-scratch conditions of a developing country? We start from scratch too. And I know that sounds super simple and obvious, but it is a super simple and obvious solution. We invest in startups. We blaze new trails. We implement new policies and create our own companies. We create brands with the simultaneous mission of making a profit and giving back. Why is this the obvious next step? Can we really succeed at making this movement of socially responsible youth startups a reality? Well, here's my proof. First, let's use this we're glued to our screens, self-centered, social media guru stereotype to our advantage. You know what? We are amazing with technology. Our generation's great with social media, and when we band together using those platforms to talk about something we care about, we dictate what's talked about on the world stage. Just recently, the United States presidential election debates were held on college campuses. That shows me that at the highest level of government, the youth vote matters most, and it's what people care most about. And second, we are living in a time when the world recognizes that youth innovation can be a means to solve socioeconomic problems. You don't have to be Warren Buffett for the first time in business history to be respected. You can be a Mark Zuckerberg or a Lauren Bush Lauren or a 7-year-old who invented an iPad app, like that DJ one that's surprisingly super successful. But not everyone has these opportunities. Not everyone has the freedom to speak their mind or to exercise an idea. And as a Girl of Youth champion for the United Nations Foundation, I'm aware of many who lack these freedoms. I would be remiss if I didn't use this opportunity to ask you and all of us to help give these girls a chance and a life. What if, as we created our companies and blazed our trails, we incorporated the Malalas into our programs? What if they were our beneficiaries? What if we worked with UN agencies to help get these girls counted so that the programs they have on the ground today could make an immediate difference? What if we helped them get an education, allow them to delay marriages, choose when and who they marry, when they have their babies? What if, through our businesses, we help break the cycle of poverty? So what is my main takeaway? It's pretty simple. You don't have to be Melinda Gates to make a difference. You don't have to be a self-sacrificing Gandhi or tree-hugging guru. You don't have to even call me anything that I've done. You don't have to throw a fundraiser. It comes and starts and stops with believing in yourself. You have to decide what that ridiculous thing you want to change is. And then you have to set out and do it. Know that the world is looking at you today as a leader, and that you can begin today. You may not have the education. I'm on a gap year from college, and you may not have the financial means. But if you have the heart, determination, and drive to make a difference, let me ask you, why aren't you trying, and why haven't you started? So challenge leaders, yell at publicists, and create a movement of change by trying to pull off the ridiculous. Remember that mountains are doable, and please start today. Thank you.